Welcome back to the beaving build. This is going to be, well, this is the second video where I'm going to just showing the parts. This is the printed parts. I'll just first show you guys the FDM parts, which is the fuse deposition modeling parts out of filament, which will make the model lighter. And then I'll show you guys where everything fits together, and then I'll show you the resin printed parts, the higher detail bits. Okay, so these basically are your FDM parts. Okay, so this is your cockpit interior, where all the cockpit parts mount onto. I did show in the last video briefly how this goes in with the flat part, corresponds to the flat part on the actual cone. It goes in. Okay, and the next is let me see, I can work my way down. On the back of this cockpit interior is this piece that must get glued in with a hole. Okay, and that will basically fit into your nose, or this area of the cast part. Okay, so that fits in there quite tight. You might have to just sand a bit so it fits in. Okay, but then you'll be able to rotate it a lot easier. So ideas for rotation. Okay, feel free to glue it in place. Then you don't need to use this piece. Okay, this round piece over here is for you want to do a rear mount stand or pose the model in different angles. This actually goes into the back of the central part, like I mentioned before. Okay, and you're going to have your 4 engines, and then this basically fits into the directly into the little section in the center. Okay, the idea of this is that you can actually rotate your model any angle. So your stand might be upright, so this is the other part for the stand. Okay, so you're going to have your 8mm pipe from here to this one, and then you're going to change angle. You pull it out, change angle, push it in, change angle. So you can have a 360-degree choice of how your model wants to stand. Now, I haven't tested this strength on the full model weight yet, so don't take this as set in stone. This works on the computer, but I need to test it on the full weight of the model. So I'll only know this once I actually finish the kit, and that'll be at the end. Okay, so that's that for the stand. Mounting of the cockpit. Okay, your side mounts are these 2 FDM parts, and they basically go into these gaps on the inside. These gaps. Okay, with the little hole showing outwards, obviously. So this basically slides in like such. So you glue this piece in. Okay, put a bunch of well, okay, the hole goes all the way through, so it doesn't really matter, but try and put the smooth side at the bottom. Okay, so put your glue and just slide it in. Okay, it doesn't matter which way around you do it, toward the front or back. Okay, and then your cover will go over the top. Your cover being a FDM printed part, which is not FDM resin, which is this piece. Okay, this I'm going to remake this as a cast part. Okay, the cast didn't, the original casting didn't work very well, so I'm bringing the mold. But if you receive it this way or the other way, it's the same thing, same quality. Okay, then that covers this. So you get it on both sides, and you can mount your model from the side. Okay, and this is made. If you're going to make it go all the way through, make sure you mount both of these holes either facing forward or backward. Else it's not going to go all the way through. Okay, I did mention before, this hole for your pipe to go through, it goes through this this piece straight through and then into the hole to hold it for extra support. Okay, so that's it for the FDM parts. Okay, this knuckle is 8mm size as well. Okay, so your printed resin printed parts, I'll go from the bottom. So you get your main gun, which fits into this this part one way only. Okay, so you see it only goes in one way, and this goes on top. Okay, so this will need to be glued together, so paint it before you glue it. But that is basically the size. I mean, you can see it's a huge model. So this is your lower gun pod. Okay, and then on your wings, like I mentioned before, this will come as a resin printed part. This is how you receive it. Depending on package size, I might remove it from the support, but you need to wipe clear off or sand down the little nubs. And I normally send the stuff on the supports for protection. So then again, this will go in one way. Let's see which one it is. Like such. And then the rod will go through your 8mm pipe. Okay, as well. Goes all the way through. Okay, so this is a resin printed part. Okay, so next will be guns, which will go onto your wings and the wing back. Okay, little holes on the side, and your gun pod. Okay, I think I have to check the reference again, but I'm not too sure if these are more to the inside or the outside, so I'm not sure which one. Okay, well obviously this is the front and this thing is facing, okay, so this is the left hand one. Okay, so I was right, these face towards this little nub and they only go in one way, so it goes in. Okay, and on this pod you have your mount. Camera down. So you have your mount, which goes into this little hole. This way around, like such. Okay, now it's one piece, and then your gun holder, which is this one. Okay, this is for aluminium pipe, which you will get in the kit, and then I'll explain how to the length to cut it in the build manual. But I think this might be 5mm. This is a 5mm pipe. Goes in, and then you get a thinner. This is a 3mm. Goes into it. Distances and everything I will explain in the manual. And this goes on the end. So there's a little gap between the two. And then your little FDM printed, resin printed nozzle for the gun goes in the end. Okay, and this lot then slides into the front of this. I think this is downwards, if I'm not mistaken, like such. And there's your side guns for your wings. Okay. Moving back to the center of the model. For the wings, again, these looks like a nut. Basically cover up the rear of the pipe. Okay. Let's move back to the central collector. These printed parts, okay, slides into the side of this main section. Okay, and once this holder is actually in your engine holder, these actually slide in and they stay in without no glue required. So they'll stay in there, which is quite convenient. Okay, so I'm going to move up to the cockpit. Again, you got the FDM printed part, like I mentioned. Just to show you guys, this is how you will receive the gun, wing gun cover. Okay, on its supports, because it's a very, very thin part and it's for protection. Okay, I don't want this to get squashed in the mail. in a box. We try and package as best as possible, but you won't believe things still break. Okay. Just before I get onto the cockpit, I just want to go over the piping and this little thing over here. Okay, so this little thing, the pipey thing, let me see if I can show you guys closer. Okay, goes on the back of the lower pod. Goes into this gap. So it closes up that area. Okay. And then these pipings go around, okay, this section, the upper pod. You see there's two holes in the back, so these pipes, sorry, go this way around, go into there's actually a little gap over there that shows you where they go. Okay, and then the front one, this one, it's flat on top, goes, you see there is like a little indentation here. This one's got a small bubble, but that can be removed, and that goes in over there, completing this piece and before you put it together. Okay, so that's, okay, now I can get to the cockpit. Okay, so cockpits, you have highly detailed cockpits that Alan did a good job on. I split it in two to make it easier to print. So these two, as you can see, let me just get into the camera over here, they fit together pretty well. Okay, and you can add lighting. So this has got a little groove, and it fits in like such. Okay, then you get your chair. Okay, which just basically goes in, put the chair in before the time. Okay, and then you get your pilot. I've taken his visor off because the visor was way too thin. So if you guys want a visor, then just mention it to me, and then when I send kits out, or if you've got a printer, I'll just send you the head. You can print it out with a visor. But there's a pilot. In focus. Holding his joystick. Okay, and these four little things, you actually notice they're actually the same things that are on the bottom of the pod. They're the same as these, the bottom gun holder. These are actually on the interior of the cockpit cone. You see there is 4 gaps. Okay, there's one. Can angle this correctly so you can. There's it. There's 2 over there. Okay, so that's where they go in. If you're going to use the plastic, which I will provide, a vacuum formed window, you see that's actually part of it. So if you're going to glue this in, you can glue that straight onto the plastic on the inside, or cut a hole and then stick it in, and this will hold the canopy in, or the shield, windscreen, the windscreen in. Okay, and then basically this just, with it on and your pilot in and etc. You can hold this, you can put this like this, upright. Get the view right. And then you get your gun. And again, this comes on supports. Okay, you're gonna have to remove it from the support, so it's a highly detailed gun. I'm not sure if you can actually go through the back to add lighting into it, but there is I've left space over here and a hole on this, so you can screw it in if you want it. But this simply just fits in. This piece actually, the square piece goes in and holds it. Like that. Okay, now it's one piece, and this can go on, and you can screw it in. So if these are glued together, you can remove this. So if you want, the option is there to screw it in, and then basically this whole cap just fits over it, and the guns protrude. And there's your cockpit with the guns. Now on the original model, Alan didn't add this in because of, if you print it out, it wouldn't work. There's a protruding wire that comes out of the section. I changed the wire to actually make it possible to protrude. The little printed piece is where it's lying here somewhere, but let's see if I can find it. Then you actually just need to stick it in there, and it'll stick out, and it looks more authentic to the original studio scale model. I don't know where mine is. I will show it in the next video. I will find it, but it basically just clips in. It comes as an FDM printed part. Let me actually run outside and see, because I have some stuff in the sun. Found it. Okay, here we go. So this is how the little wire looks. Okay, it comes on its support. Okay, so that will basically just fit. It's got a groove it fits into, and it sticks out. I'll show you in the build manual of how to do it properly, how to get it in there. And I think that might be it on the printed parts and the and all the parts for the kit. So I'm going to work everything off, sand all these things, bubbles off the seam lines, fill up my bubbles, and then test fit everything. And then I'm going to wash it, like I said before, and then I'm going to start gluing parts together. And as I do that, I will come and show you guys what I'm doing, and then at the same time I'll do the build document, which will be up on the box account folder, which will be shared to anyone who buys the kit with all the reference.